Welcome to the Wee Podcast. My name is Shabazz, and I'm going to be one of your hosts. Alongside me, I've got the fat airplane himself, Daniel. You're wearing a Buzz Lightyear shirt. You pretty much you made me say it.
No, because this is the thing. I forgot I was wearing a Buzz shirt. First of all, even though we were just talking about it. Second of all, you paused for like a little too long after you said the fat.
I was shocked. I was like,
Anthony's face. We rolled back the tape. He was just like, "What?" So okay, thank you for one, not insulting me and then giving me childhood trauma.
Oh, again, I was just trying to. It was a reference to our previous episode. That's all I was trying to do.
It was a deep cut.
And you wore the shirt
to my heart.
Yeah. You wore the shirt.
I did wear the shirt.
Plus, your mom called you that when I saw you walking around.
That's true. Yeah.
And the meatball marinara himself. Got beside me here is Anthony. Anthony, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah. Calling fat people today, eh?
Oh, wow. Whoa, wow. Wait a second.
Hey, that is so much harsher than what I said. I referenced...
You called me a meatball.
Yeah, okay. Meatball marinara, because it's Italian, right?
Not really.
What would you say it is, then?
It's like Italian American.
Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry.
You forgot the American part.
I forgot the American part. That is my fault. So Daniel, besides whatever just attacked.
I just got...
How are you feeling?
I'm great, man. Honestly, like, quick little plug. Just got a new TV.
Okay.
And it is wonderful.
I also I followed your advice and I picked up the same TV at such a steal. I didn't steal it, sorry.
Wait, was it like on sale or something?
It was like a ridiculous sale. Yeah. So literally, the TV I got was an LG or Shay as well.
Yeah.
It was an LG B8 OLED TV. So I've had my eye on this TV for like years.
Yes.
Right? And every year they upgrade and everything. So I got to 2018 model, which I don't really care which one it is as long as it's OLED, but like the price that we got it at is like more than half off.
Yeah.
So it was just, I could not buy it. So
and the funniest part is that there was no like indication of this price listed anywhere online.
Yeah, it wasn't advertised.
Is this price still available?
No,
online?
so I literally walked into Costco. I've never seen like OLED TVs there, first of all, and then I go in there and there it is, and there's like two left. So I immediately messaged Shay. I'm like, yo, dude, look at the price of this. This is crazy. So I picked it up, and then Shay ended up getting his as well, too, at, I think, Best Buy.
Yeah, I went to Best Buy, and I had them price match it. And even they were like...
cursing at Shay.
The girl was just typing it in. The computer was catching on fire. She was like, I don't think I can go this low. And
they had to call Mr. Best Buy himself to get it approved.
They had like 4 managers, I think, a private investigator.
And a priest. There was a priest there as well, too.
That's dope. I'm glad you joined the OLED family.
We're all part of the OLED club now.
We're all part of it.
Yeah.
OLED. Why are you saying it like that? You sound like you're from the Goonies, like the
Hey you guys.
Hey you guys. I just did some gang signs.
Some, like the OLED gang sign.
Yeah. Damn, that was intense. Anthony, how's your week been going?
It's been well, yeah. It's been, same old.
Okay.
I didn't buy any OLEDs.
No, you already got one though, man. So you're good.
You already got one. Okay, what TV do you have again? Do you have the
Sony A1E?
But tell our listeners, what TV did you have before that?
Yeah.
Before my Sony A1E, I came from a Samsung DLP,
which is like a projector, like the back projector.
Yes.
Giant TVs that everybody had in their basement.
What every foreign family had in their basement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So at that time, which was 2003, I think that's when the Xbox 360 came out.
360 came out 2005.
2005.
Yeah.
So 2005, I bought my Xbox 360 and didn't realize I had to have an HD television, so I bought my DLP. Nice. Then I invested some money in my Sony A1E, which is beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah. How long have you had the Sony one for?
I'm gonna. It was a year last year, so going on almost 2 years. December.
All right.
November. Yeah. No, December.
Awesome.
November.
Okay.
Happy to be part of the OLED team. So
nice.
Team OLED.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. And as always, guys, you can catch a new episode of the Movie Podcast every Monday across all your favorite podcast services. If you want to be a part of the show and give us your comments, suggestions, and corrections, you can head over to thistimewith.com/talk, which just got a brand new facelift as well.
It did.
And it looks great.
Got
no
some
longer
plastic surgery.
Plastic surgery, old Hollywood treatment, neck and face tuck or whatever they call it. What do they call
tummy
it?
tuck?
No,
nip tuck.
Nip tuck, but they get their face pulled back.
Yeah.
Facelift.
Facelift. That's it. Yeah.
Face off.
Face off.
Face off. Yeah, so like you could check it out. No, it's no longer a Google form, so it should not give you any errors if you were
Viruses or
steal your
Or
information.
captures, or lead you to
So it's nice and
sites.
streamlined now. If you click on the movie podcast's logo on it, it'll actually bring you to the movie podcast site, which we're working on as well. So write into us because we love hearing from you.
Yeah, and in this week's episode, we're going to be going back in time, 20 years into the past to 1999, the wildest, craziest time period of anyone's life, I think.
Yeah.
Who is still alive.
Yeah. Why 20 years ago, though?
Why 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
20th episode, baby.
20th episode.
20th episode.
We made it, guys. 20th
We made
episode.
it.
Let's just stop here.
Who thought? Who thought that we would
Nobody
have made
thought
it
we'd
to 20
make it here.
episodes?
We did it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically 22.
Technically 22.
If we count our test episodes.
But we don't.
But we don't count those.
So screw you.
So this is our 20th.
Yeah, this is 20.
Yeah.
This is a good one. I like 20.
20 is good.
20 is a good age.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good
when you
age.
kind of...
Start figuring some stuff out.
No, you don't figure it out till
No?
you're like dead. So
Wow. Wow. So you haven't figured anything out yet?
No.
I don't think anybody knows anything.
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think no one... Yeah.
What podcast is this again?
I don't. This is the life crushing dreams moment.
So let's,
featuring the fat airplane himself.
Let's cut open our little envelope here to the mailbag.
Thank God for that envelope.
Was there a snake?
Anthony is on some. I don't know what's in the water we gave him today.
Was there a snake in that envelope of yours?
No, it's a cut sound.
And then
Oh.
what came out of it?
Yeah, but
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Is it
so-
wet? Is
yeah,
it,
it
it's
was
a wet.
wet.
welcome to the ASMR
went-
movie podcast.
It went. It sounded a little wet, like it was in the like in a hurricane. Speaking of hurricanes,
segue.
Nate says with the recent release of Kroll, which is a cross-genre film mixing the monster, horror, disaster genres. What are your favorite? Hold on. Let me try this question again because I think I messed that up. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. With the recent release of Kroll, the new film that just came out. That's the alligators or crocodiles.
Came out
in the hurricane.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the hurricane, which is actually doing really
Which
well.
is great.
in
Great reviews. Yeah.
It's a cross-genre film that's mixing the monster, horror, and disaster genres. What are some of your favorite cross-genre movies? For me, I love 10 Cloverfield Lane as it was a perfect mix of both monster movie and sci-fi thriller. That's Nate.
Yeah. Thank you, Nate, for the question, and thanks for
thank
giving
you,
us your
Answer.
answer as well too. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we get questions, but we want to hear your answers.
We want to
as
hear
well.
the answers too.
So I'll go first. My cross genre movie is, and I recently watched it, and I was still blown away about like just the premise of the whole movie is Bone Tomahawk, because it was a western that turned into a horror, which I've never experienced before.
And that was with,
And it was
Kurt
really
Russell, right?
Yeah, it was Kurt Russell, and Matthew Fox.
Yeah. So this director, he did the one with Vince Vaughn, the Rumble in Cell Block 99, I think it's
Yes.
called. Or
Yeah.
something like that. And then he has another one
Craig
coming out.
Zahler.
Yeah, so he's doing like a bunch of like movies that are getting like this giant cult following. So
Yeah.
I still have it on my list to watch. I got to do it.
But yeah, it was so surprising to watch a western turn into a horror, and I've never experienced.
Is
that
there
before.
some like
And it was
intense moments though in it?
So intense,
Really, eh?
It was really well done. It wasn't like a cheesy what's that?
Like
cowboy
spaghetti western.
Sci-fi.
Cowboy versus aliens.
Yeah, cowboy versus alien.
That's a
Jon
cross genre
Favreau.
for sure.
oh, that was
Jon
a Favreau movie.
That was a Favreau joint. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stick to your panini press, Favreau.
Oh,
What a weird insult.
I was like, oh
Listen
yeah,
here,
chef.
Favreau. Stick to your damn panini press.
I was trying to remember his grilled cheese, but I couldn't remember it.
Oh.
No, Favreau's a
Yeah, he's make
His
Cubanos.
Cubano
Use
sandwiches.
Cubanos,
Yeah. Okay.
Cubano.
His panini press.
Panini press. Stick to your damn, stick it right here,
my God,
right?
stick it right here.
Daniel, what about
I'll
yourself?
take the next one. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to top this one.
Don't insult Jon
Um,
Favreau, though.
So I was thinking, like, when we originally got this question, I was thinking of the movie 50-50, which is the one with Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where
Great film.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets cancer in it, and Seth Rogen is basically like being his wingman through everything, trying to like keep his spirits up while also being with his friend while dealing.
He was also very much like riding off the coattails of
Yeah.
his cancer.
Yeah,
really
so-
using it as like his leverage to get with girls.
Yeah, so it's like it reminded me a lot of like what John Hughes movies are. Like there's a lot of comedy to them, obviously, but there's also like that level of drama. Also, Anthony, you inspired me with this one because you also just saw Rocketman, which I loved and
Yep.
Shay loved. And I think Rocketman is a really cool blend of like biopic, but also a musical. So I really liked how they did that with Rocketman. So,
Yeah.
Shay, what about you?
One of the ones that really sticks out to me is The Guest, starring Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
And when I look back at that film, it's got the like storyboard and template of a horror movie, but it's filmed as like an action thriller.
Really weird movie, but it's one of those weird movies that I remember when we watched it, we couldn't stop. We couldn't look away.
We were just like, okay, we don't want to watch this. Then we put it on, and
Yeah.
we just kept every scene. We were like, well, what's going to happen next? And I'm like, hey, do you feel like horror movie vibes from this
Yeah.
right now? And then when I looked further into it, they literally wrote it as a horror film.
Is it
and then
is it
shot
Blumhouse that did it?
You know what? I'll have to take a look into that.
Okay.
Great film again. And the music in the film was
it's
great
it's
as
up there
well.
with Drive, with having like that
80s
synth wave soundtrack that is just keeping you on the edge of your seat the entire time.
Yeah.
And Dan Stevens is great. I'm surprised, like, he obviously was Beast in Beauty and the Beast a couple years ago, but I'm surprised we haven't seen more of him in like bigger movies now, because he's doing Legion, right, on FX.
Yeah. He's also in Downton Abbey, I believe.
Yeah, it was Downton Abbey as well.
What were you
That
saying?
picture, that poster of him, he looks so different than what he looks like in real life. He looks very menacing and
On the guest poster.
on the guest
Yeah,
poster.
yeah.
It's
He was
very-
also like really. He was a fat airplane too growing up for sure, and he like totally transformed to how he looked.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was very chubby.
Yeah,
in,
he was in Downton
How
Abbey.
do you guys
Downton
know
Abbey.
this?
Just because I remember when we were watching the guest and looking him up, all the pictures of him were like of.
Because I never seen him before The Guest.
Yeah,
Or at
and we
least-
never watched Downton Abbey, right? So when we
Exactly.
were looking him up, we are like, oh,
I'm like,
wow.
he
got a
in
glow up.
the show, supposedly like that was his character. He was a chubby guy, and when he lost all the weight and became, I guess, quote unquote buff for The Guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do an episode on actors who lost weight.
Christian Bale.
That's the whole episode.
He just lost all the weight in the world.
He lost enough weight for everybody.
Or like movie transformations or actors who lost weight.
the movie transformation just because I can.
Yeah, movie transformations. That's
Because
really
I feel like if we just do an episode on actors who started gaining weight.
Yeah, like
I don't think that's that nice.
Jenny Craig sponsored episode. Yeah, Christy Alley, you know, she just lost a lot of weight and gained it again.
It wasn't Blumhouse.
It wasn't
Picture
Blumhouse.
House.
Yeah, Picture House and Universal.
Yeah. But it seems like a Blumhouse type movie.
It does seem like or A24.
Or A24, yeah.
A24.
Yeah.
Another film that also, and when we talk about this later, that stood out to me as well was Hereditary and Midsommar. They are horror films, but they are masquerading almost as psychological thrillers.
Yep.
And we'll talk more about Midsommar as when we talk about what we watched this week.
Sounds good to me.
So let's jump into the news.
Oh, we're just
good.
on key now, guys.
Which is so good.
We're so good.
So, Daniel, you want to start us off with the first story?
Yeah, let's do it. So, friends to leave Netflix for WarnerMedia's HBO Max streaming service in 2020. So
Who's it coming from?
So this is coming from, I apologize, this is coming from Todd Spangler of Variety. So we knew Warner Brothers was working on a streaming service for a while now. We've had a couple stories from episodes back of what stuff that's going to be coming to them. We knew Friends was going to be leaving Netflix after they spent, $100 million last year?
That, yeah.
So now we're getting confirmation, obviously, that Friends is leaving Netflix. And now we have Warner Brothers' official unveiling of their new streaming service, which they're going to be calling HBO Max. What do you guys think?
The name?
It's a strange
name.
Didn't you guess this name? I think you said something like HBO Plus or like Warner Bros. Max or Warner Bros. Plus.
Not really. I didn't even know Warner Brothers owned HBO.
No, but
you didn't know that?
But
Yeah.
you called it like Warner Bros. Plus or something, I think, right? As a joke before. I don't know.
I don't
I mean,
remember.
keeping with consistency of like
Yeah.
Disney
All
Plus
the,
and Apple TV Plus and
But what's
Max.
another way of saying plus? Max.
Max. Yeah,
You know?
it's like the 10s Max.
Yeah,
yeah.
and the 7 Plus.
It's interesting. They're going with the HBO branding.
Yeah,
behind
that's
this.
what I was.
Because-
instead of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, because when you think of HBO, I don't immediately think of.
I never think of HBO. And
I don't.
Warner
I
Bros.
don't think of
together.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't think of Harry Potter and
Yeah.
Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff. So it feels like they're just like, hey, you know what? HBO is at least known for quality content. Maybe that's why they're trying to have that branding for it.
Yeah.
It's a strange name. I would still call it Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Or Warner Brothers Stream. Or
WB Stream.
I feel like
WB.
Warner Bros. Stream sounds like a location almost.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is Warner Bros. Stream, and right over there is Warner Bros. Park.
And there's the Warner Brothers Meadow right down there. But I think when you look at HBO Max, that sounds like a streaming platform.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's very like an app.
yeah, but
focus,
then
right?
you think of TV.
yes,
Yeah.
You don't
You
think
do.
of film. You don't think
You
of
don't
film.
think of
Not at
film.
all.
No,
You don't-
or you don't even think of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, but when I think of
No.
Netflix, I don't think of everything that Netflix has either. Like Netflix just kind of like lost its meaning.
lost its identity a little
It just
bit.
kind of looks, it's like a streaming to me now. That's where like Netflix
It's become
is like a
just
verb,
like
right?
their original content, and even their original content, I don't know what's a movie and what's a show.
Yeah. I literally have to. I was just doing this for. There's this show on Netflix, and that's the thing with Netflix. They have so much content being pumped on there. There's a new show called The Beats with
yeah. I saw the
Anthony
Mackie.
No,
Anderson.
Anderson, yeah. And it's like I'm like, oh, is this a movie or is this a TV show? And I had to like click on it. I'm like, okay, it's a movie. So it's like I'm curious what Warner Brothers' plans are with this because we know they have tons of content. They have so much things that they're going to be putting on this that are taking from Netflix. It's just
No, they haven't announced pricing yet, but I
No.
think they were aiming around like the $15 to $16 mark.
That's a high. That's too high to start at.
I'm not going.
Like,
I'm not paying that.
Get us in at a cheaper price, and then a couple.
Because
years
that Canadian,
down the road,
that's like what 20. That's like
I think
that's
that's
how
like
much I pay
50.
for. That's how much I pay for Crave.
Yeah.
Right now I'm paying $19 for Crave.
So this, do we even know if this is going to be replacing Crave?
I don't think
here?
it'll be doing much for Canada at all because
Yeah, I don't
of
think so
Bell's
either.
licensing with HBO. It's just such a like. There's no way Bell's going to give up HBO.
Yeah, but
I mean, like eventually they'll have to.
Eventually they'll have to, but I like again, it's one of those things that this is going to come out, and for us here in Canada, like we're probably not going to get it at launch, or we'll get some watered down version of it. So
Yeah.
does that mean that Netflix Canada still gets to keep the license for Friends or
I'm
Fresh Prince of Bel Air and
I'm
all
wondering.
that stuff?
Because it is a different rights system,
Right. With the way the CRTC works and
Yeah.
everything like that. Like, don't get me wrong, like it's cool seeing. I like streaming services because they give us choice, right?
Yeah.
But now we're looking at Disney, Apple, NBC, Warner Brothers, Netflix. There's so many now that at the end of the day, it's even though we have choice of what we want to watch, it's getting up there with cable prices, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there'll be like a system where you pay for one service that gives you all of these, or
No.
gives you 3 or 4 of these?
Never.
You know, like a bundle pack.
I would love it, but I don't think we'll ever. Maybe down the road, maybe, but I don't think they'll. Because who's going to be in charge of that? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just who's gonna pay for all these streaming services? You know, like you might as well just get cable.
Listen, once Disney buys everybody, then we'll have them all.
Well, yeah.
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 Crazy.
It's a crazy world we're living in, right? Streaming services, like I feel like every episode there's another one being introduced.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, speaking of licenses,
Yes.
someone's getting a license to kill. Daniel and Anthony, do you want to dive into the next story for us?
Yeah. So this just came down the wire.
Yeah.
About what, 3 hours ago?
4 hours ago today. Yeah.
And if you're listening to this is about the afternoon on a Sunday. Actress Lashana Lynch is the new 007 in the upcoming James Bond film. And this is from Luke Darby of GQ.
Now this is still pretty.
This is
Still pretty fresh.
Still pretty fresh.
Rumorish.
Unconfirmed, 'cause this is like a plot of the movie.
Yes.
It sounds like. It sounds like a leak that's happened, right?
So
Yeah.
Lashana Lynch
Yeah.
is going to be playing 007.
Right.
Like she has that code
She's in
name.
the
moniker,
mantle,
yeah.
the moniker of 007.
And I'm guessing James Bond
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
seems to be maybe out of
So
maybe in retirement or
So supposedly
AWOL.
at the end of Spectre, which we clearly don't remember.
We don't
anymore.
remember.
Yeah.
We saw it together.
He retires.
Yeah.
Did he?
I guess
I do not remember the
we
ending of
watched
that
it
film,
once.
yeah.
Was that the one where MI6 was blown up?
That was Skyfall.
That was Skyfall.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, Spectre's the one where
It starts with
Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz,
Yeah.
who again is rumored to. Apparently, he was on set filming for this one, so he's coming back as Blaufeld.
Blofeld? Yeah. So at the moment right now, the idea is that there's a scene where M says, come on, in 007, and Lashana walks in, and basically it's supposed to be a pivotal moment that she has now taken over the name of 007. But, I mean, I don't know how integral to the plot this is, or is this going to be one of those things where, like, she's like, oh, I don't need the help of the former 007. You know,
Right.
like the typical
Yeah, I'm
tropes
surprised it
of-
also wasn't Naomi Harris as well too.
Well,
'cause-
she's Moneypenny, so...
yeah, but because even then, like she is an agent now, right? So like, I could have seen them even giving her the role because at least
Unless already got it, right? And then
maybe,
like,
maybe it's
she's
true.
like 006 for all we know.
Honestly,
Or
like
8.
when this news broke today, I was like, man, I need to find a way to watch Spectre again because like,
Is this supposed to be? Is this a leak or is this something that?
It's a rumor.
Yeah,
leak
so they're,
slash-
like-
Is this what the studio wants people to know about?
so this hasn't come out yet. Like the James Bond Twitter hasn't tweeted about it. not any of the big like variety Hollywood reporters. They aren't really reporting because this seems like a leaked film plot. This is coming from the Sunday Mail or
So we're just reporting.
Take it with a grain of salt.
We're just
we don't
saying
have
this as like, oh, this is interesting if this does happen. We're not trying to dive too deep into it, but yeah.
But that would be a cool.
It's definitely like
twist.
A twist, like what's going to happen in the movie, right? And I again, like we're seeing this flame come alive on social media because people are upset that somebody else has the the 007 moniker. But again, she's not playing James Bond. It's just the title of it. Obviously, it's synonymous with James Bond. Yeah. But if it makes sense within the movie, then it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Because
he's like, you don't watch James Bond for the 007 marker.
Yeah, like it's obviously part of him, but it's like
they call him 0022. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, as long
James
as
Bond.
he's James Bond, he's James Bond.
03000.
I don't know if that would be. I think it's just 3 letters.
That's
numbers,
it's
three characters.
long,
so you could just be like, he'd be just 022.
Yeah, I would call him 2,562,000.
Dude, by the time you reach him on the comms, man, he's dead.
If he's trying to say his name, he's already been shot.
What's your moniker?
My name's Bond,
2,700,000 and just recite all the decimals of pi.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on this.
Speaking of pi.
Yeah,
Gary Oldman is to star in David Fincher's biopic of Citizen Kane co-writer Herman Mankiewicz. The reason why I was trying to go there is he ate a lot of pie.
I was going to say, so I was trying to break this down in my head. So I'm like, okay, Gary Oldman, pie.
Yeah.
He played Winston Churchill, who he had to gain weight for.
Yeah.
He ate a lot of pies.
Yes.
Is that where you're going with it?
I don't know, fat airplane, you tell me, all right?
Listen, man, I don't like pie.
Yo, but wasn't that all prosthetic?
Yeah, most of it was. Yeah, but he gained some weight, but he put on...
He gained weight?
No, he wore a prosthetic suit for it.
Yeah.
Or a fat airplane suit, I heard.
Yeah.
This is coming from our good old boy.
Oh, Borys Kid.
Borys Kid. It's not a movie podcast episode
without Borys.
We should have Borys on the episode one day.
Borys, if you come to town, if you're listening to this, if you come to town for TIFF, be on the podcast, man.
Yeah, man. Or let us interview you.
He liked my tweet. I tweeted at him. I'm like, listen, Borys. I didn't say this. I just said, Borys, it's not a movie podcast episode without you. And he liked it. He didn't respond, though.
From the Hollywood Reporter.
I may be blocked.
Like, block this guy.
I'm going to like it, then mute him.
He sent that the 2 eye emojis. Like, what the hell? But Gary Oldman and David Fincher, we've talked hours and hours about David Fincher. We love him. They're teaming up to tell the story of Herman Mankiewicz, the new Superman turned screenwriter who is best known for collaborating with Orson Welles on Citizen Kane. Mank, the nickname for Mankiewicz, is set up at Netflix, with Fincher making his next feature film to shoot in the fall. So
finally,
he hasn't done a movie since Gone Girl.
Too long, man. Yeah. Like, he's obviously worked on stuff.
Yes,
he's
producing
doing,
Mindhunter.
He was executive on House of Cards.
Yeah,
but again, I want to see a David Fincher movie.
Yeah,
the one detail that's really cool about this film is his father is writing the script.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So Jack Fincher is writing the script for the film.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
and apparently he's been trying to get it done for like years. So it's like he's obviously had this part of him.
It's been a long journey for him because he wanted to get it done, I think, right after the game.
Crazy.
Yeah. I wonder what the story is with
and why it's so worthy of a movie.
Because usually Fincher has like these twists and these like really intense plots in his movies. So a film that's almost like a biopic, it's hard to see what he's gonna do with it.
I did some research on this guy. He was like during the 30s and 40s. He would crank out like 3 to 4 scripts a year. Which is very, like, you can't even get one script a year.
Yeah.
Nowadays, he was cranking out from 1930 to 1945. He cranked out like 40 scripts.
It's crazy, right?
He was
what a time of
this
Hollywood
was during
that was.
Golden Age. So he kind of set
Hollywood.
the precedent of like script writing.
Yeah,
amazing.
For Hollywood.
He really did.
That's really cool.
And he helped create Citizen Kane, which I still don't know anything about.
I've seen it once.
That's a movie that I've never watched.
Yeah,
I think we spoke about it, right, on movies we never. I watched it once in my film class.
Of course.
Yeah, like where else are you gonna watch Citizen Kane?
Really?
And again, it's not a movie I really remember much about.
Rosebud.
Yeah.
And then that was the name of a sled, I think.
Cool. Sure.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
So-
but yeah, so it's
Citizen
happening.
Kane.
It's going to be in black and white as well too. And
Is it really?
It's going to be in black and white, and
yeah, it
it's
is.
interesting that like obviously David Fincher is a fantastic director, and he obviously has a lot of clout with Netflix now. I think Netflix is just going to throw him money, and he's going to do whatever he
I
wants.
just want to see a Fincher film in theaters, though. Like,
too.
I just want to go to the theater to see.
We're going to be getting the Irishman this fall as well too, which
Yeah.
we still haven't seen anything from.
except for that one teaser trailer of the
teaser trailer-
shell.
That didn't show any.
showing.
That didn't show any footage. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's apparently going to be getting a theater release. Again, that's a topic for another time. But
That's a topic for the time. Yeah, crazy
times.
Crazy
times we're living
times
in.
in crazy.
Speaking
times.
of names that sound like David Fincher, Dexter Fletcher is directing
okay.
Sherlock Holmes 3.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Again, like director of Rocketman, and
Yep.
took over for Bryan Singer for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep.
It's nice to get some new blood in there because obviously Guy Ritchie's done 2 of these movies.
Did
And
you guys ask for this, by the way? For Sherlock Holmes
it's been in
3?
development hell for
No.
years.
It's been 10 years now.
Almost 10 years. Yeah, 2011 was Game of Shadows.
Yeah.
And by the time this comes out, it'll probably be 2021, 2022. So yeah, 10 years in
Yeah,
between.
they're aiming for 2021, which is 10 years.
10
for
years in between.
This, like,
That's crazy.
We
Also,
we
10
can move
years.
on.
Oh my god.
we can move on.
Yeah, I think like the way the second one ended with kind of a cliffhanger, because
I don't
like
remember,
apparently
yeah.
like Sherlock Holmes like dies in it, and then he comes back at the end.
Which is what happens in like almost every
Yeah,
Sherlock Holmes
so it's
novel
like-
as well.
Like I could see why, because Robert Downey Jr. has been so bankable, and because he's been in the MCU so much, he hasn't been able to.
But I also
be
feel like
Sherlock
we
Holmes,
don't
but-
need this many Sherlock Holmes movies. Like, to me, Sherlock Holmes isn't a James Bond.
Yeah,
or
we were
a-
just
or
talking
a
about it
Ethan
with
Hunt.
Henry Cavill's gonna be.
with Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, and then Ian McKellen played
And then
him.
Sherlock Gnome,
And-
for all we know, is coming out soon.
Another Sherlock Gnomes, who's what is actually it's funny. It's actually produced by Elton John.
Oh yeah.
He
Which one?
produced Sherlock Gnomes. Yeah, his
Little child
he
laughter
got
there.
it.
Like,
He got
I
it.
get it.
His
It's a
production
no.
company, Rocket Films, is he produces them.
Boy.
But yeah, I hope it's good. I
Maybe
think
we
Dexter
should
Fletcher
connect
would.
with Elton John. Maybe he can produce the podcast.
Maybe,
EJ?
yeah.
EJ, as we call him around here.
Yeah, you call him EJ. Eh?
I call him
I just
EJ.
call him E.
Oh, that's too much.
I call him Elton.
Oh, you call him
Oh.
Elton, eh?
Full name, eh?
No, I call him Hercules.
Oh,
Hercules. So yeah, we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
no
I
one's gonna
mean,
go watch this.
I don't know.
People, Robert Downey Jr.
Maybe
might
like
go watch
British
it.
people.
No,
'Cause they love their Sherlock
I liked
Holmes.
Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes. I just
I
think
liked
it's so
the
far
first
gone,
one.
though.
I didn't like Game of Shadows personally.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
No.
The first one's really good.
But
maybe some new blood is what this needs, right?
it does, because I mean Guy Ritchie's style again was great, and I
Yeah.
love those moments of like when he's calculating in his head.
Yeah, but I think the second one came too quick because it was like literally
Way too
2
quick.
years later.
Yeah.
And it just felt like a copy of the first one as
Mm-hmm.
much, right? Like they leaned into that slow motion so much
Very
that
much
it
so.
didn't feel as unique. But obviously, we'll watch it when it comes out, right?
Yeah.
We're not British, but we'll watch it.
We'll watch it.
We're not British.
We're not British. Let's go through this casting call real quick here. So Don Cheadle, he's joining Space Jam 2.
Come on and slam.
And welcome.
What is he playing? He's not playing a basketball player
He's
because
playing
that guy
basketball.
cannot.
He's probably playing LeBron James's friend or something.
Or like, you know,
that.
like
Maybe
they
he's
had
still
Bill
wearing the
Murray.
exoskeleton from Avengers.
Oh, okay.
And he jumps really
Boom, you
high.
looking for this?
Because I mean, Michael Jordan had Bill Murray and Newman.
And Newman.
I'll never know his name.
Yeah.
The guy who was
Oh,
playing
yeah.
Newman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were his friends, and he had Larry Bird as his friend too.
Right.
But I mean, he's an actual basketball player. Sam L. Jackson is joining. I'm sorry. This is the weirdest thing I'm going to say today. Sam L. Jackson is joining Chris Rock in the new Saw reboot.
Cool. All right.
It's just Chris Rock yelling in a room.
But like, did you guys ever think that this would ever happen?
No.
I thought like honestly like I watched the first Saw with you.
Yes.
With Shay. I'm pointing at Shay.
Yeah.
And like I liked it, but it's not a series that I'm like I have this love for, and we're like 8 movies deep now in it.
I've seen
with the
them
spin-off
all.
as well
Yeah.
too.
Hollywood, if you're listening, if anyone picks up this podcast, we do not need any more reboots of anything in the past 40 or 50 years.
Yeah.
Stop rebooting shit.
Yeah.
Start creating shit.
100%.
You're just making
It's
recycled
time
money.
to create new content. If you keep rebooting, no one's gonna watch it.
It's so true.
That's a discussion for another day.
That
but
is let's look at it for
and I
another
agree with
episode,
you,
yeah.
and 100%. We will dive deeper into that in another episode. I'm down. Tyrese Gibson, he's starring in The Inside Man that he also wrote and will produce. Is The Inside Man a remake of The Inside Man?
I don't think so. I don't like Inside Man with Denzel.
Denzel and Clive Owen.
I don't think so. No.
God.
Yeah. But yeah,
I was
Tyrese,
about to look at anything right
Tyrese,
now.
make that money, Tyrese.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, Tyrese. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Does he? I never see him in anything other than
He's still
Fast
making
and the
songs,
Furious?
right?
Sorry,
He's still making songs, right?
I think so.
I thought he was bankrupt.
I think he. Yeah, I think there was that story that came out a while back that he needs. Like they need to keep making Fast and Furious movies
money.
because he needs money. Yeah.
Woody Harrelson is going to be joining Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the Netflix assassin movie Kate.
Yes.
So yeah, I love Woody Harrelson.
Did you see him at Wimbledon this
He was
weekend?
drunk?
He was
Yeah.
drunk. So good.
Yeah, that was really funny.
I love Woody so much.
And I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's really pretty.
And she's going to also be in the not Suicide Squad, sorry, the Harley Quinn and the
Birds of Prey. Is she in that? Oh,
she's
nice.
in that, I believe.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Let's jump into the box office. So, Spider-Man: Far From Home, still number one.
Still number one,
It's
yeah.
nearing the 850 million worldwide. That's coming from Brad Brevet of Box Office Mojo.
Yeah, it's killing it, man.
How's the rest of
it made
the-
like 42 million this weekend.
Yeah.
Stuber and Kroll didn't do so hot.
No.
Toy Story 4 came in second this weekend again. but,
Nice.
yeah, I'm not surprised Stuber is not doing the greatest. I mean, the name is awful. I love
awful.
you, Kumail. I love you, Dave Bautista, but like, awful name.
Yeah,
Awful name for a movie.
Yeah, Stuber made about 8 million, and Kroll did about 12. So Kroll actually not bad. Came in third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not what I think they wanted more though, for sure.
Oh, for sure. But
the
I
money
mean,
on that one.
the
But
film
hey,
looks
man,
like a,
when I saw this film, I'm like, this is trash.
Yeah, but apparently,
doing
apparently
really
it's
well.
doing fantastic
Yeah.
review wise. So
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Okay, cool. Let's jump a little bit further into our trailers. So we had Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
yes,
Yes.
that came out.
Yeah, we had Dora.
Okay,
Yeah.
This Dora trailer, I'm not being like, I'm not kidding you when I say this. I don't
Please.
mean to be like hyperbolic when I say this.
Hyperbolic Time Chamber. Okay.
What does that mean? Hyperbolic.
Like extreme, like over the top with it. I could have just said extreme.
Yeah, you could have said extreme.
This is probably one of the worst trailers I've seen in the last 10 years.
So it's not your trailer of the week.
So this is not. This is. So Charlie's Angels is better than this.
Dude, Charlie's Angels is Citizen Kane.
Damn.
Which we haven't seen it.
Which is,
Yeah.
no, but seriously, like this trailer just reminds me of like a TV movie from like 2003.
Yeah.
Because literally it ends with like a giant fart joke.
yeah.
And I was just like, and it has a voiceover guy, and I couldn't believe what I was watching.
No.
It's just,
It looks like a
insane to
parody.
me.
It looks like a parody.
It looks like a parody. And 100% looks like an epic movie or disaster movie parody
Yeah.
of Dora the Explorer.
100%. And we have Dark/Web or Dark Web.
Yep.
With an Amazon movie or series.
I think it's a movie.
Okay.
yeah.
And we have Freaks
Yes.
and Lupin 3.
Lupin 3 has beautiful animation.
Nice.
It's really, really cool animation. So check out the trailer if you
Cool.
haven't seen that
And
yet.
The Hunt. And that's it.
That's
What
it.
did you guys see any trailers this week?
No, I have not. I'm sorry. guys.
Did I see it? Or
I had
like,
Any of
not-
these trailers? I've only seen The Hunt, Dora, and Maleficent.
I'm honestly, and stick with me why I'm doing this. Dora's getting my trailer of the week because I want people to remember this trailer and never make anything like it again.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Alright.
Daniel's
That's
savage.
where I am right now with it.
Damn.
I literally watch it and like again, I don't mean to sound pretentious or anything because I love.
You don't want to sound like a
You love Dora, eh?
hyperbolic. Yeah.
I love Dora, dude. Are you kidding me? Dora's awesome.
I've never watched Dora. A full episode.
I watched it with my cousins growing up
Okay.
What?
You can just say you watched
because
it.
I have young cousins.
Young Cousins?
Young cousins.
You say Cousins?
I said, "Cuz you don't have cousins?"
I'm not Portuguese. I'm sorry.
No. So this is the thing with Dora. Like, this trailer was so bad. Like, I felt offended after. It was really
As
bad.
a filmmaker or as a like a
No, just
I think
just
as a human being.
Just
As a
somebody
human
with
being.
somebody with eyes.
Oh man.
like
ears.
there's this like first of all, why'd they cast Danny Trejo as the monkey? All he's doing is
boots.
that's all he's doing the whole time.
Well, we have Danny Trejo in the studio right now.
Yeah,
So
I don't
like-
get it. Like it was a weird choice.
yeah, I would rather have like Danny Trejo, the villain.
Yeah.
100%.
And he's like just killing people with a machete. He's playing Machete.
Yeah.
From the film.
The cast
Machete.
is really good. Like Benicio del Toro.
What? He's in it too?
He's playing Swiper.
Oh my god. Is he really?
Swiper no swiping.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Yeah, Michael Pena. You
Michael
got-
Michael Pena.
Eva Longoria,
Eva Longoria.
the girl from Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah. My God. And it's directed by David Fincher too. This is
What he's been doing.
Directed by James Bobin.
Yeah.
What
He's
has
the
he
same
done?
guy who directed Muppets Most Wanted, The Muppets, Like the
I like the
Muppets was
Well, Muppets
was a
Most Wanted. Most Wanted is a sequel, right?
sequel
Yeah.
that wasn't
like-
that good.
No,
But
it wasn't.
Muppets was
The first
really
Muppets
good.
is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
first Muppets is great.
I don't know, man.
It happened. So you guys,
Sometimes you just have a right plot,
Yeah.
and he just does not have it.
what's your trailer of the week, Shay?
I'll probably give it to The Hunt because
Yeah.
it's A24, I believe, and they always crank out something cool, and
And-
it looks interesting.
I was going to say too. We were talking about this a bit earlier, but this trailer actually debuted in theaters.
Yes.
in front of Kroll.
Yeah.
and I love that because there was nothing like
Miss those
watching
days.
watching a trailer for the first time on a big screen and being like,
What is
I had
this?
no idea what this was.
Yeah, like now when we go to the theater, all of us, we were like, "Oh, this is this trailer," or like, "Oh, we've already seen this."
I'm trying to think. There was a trailer that gave in front of, I think it was 10 Cloverfield Lane of all movies. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was the first time that trailer debuted, and we were just like, "Whoa, what was that?" Like I've never heard of that before. Or maybe the trailer was for 10 Cloverfield Lane.
It might have been.
That's what it was. That's
for
what it was.
'cause
In
they-
front of the Revenant, I
Yeah,
think it was.
they dropped it randomly.
They just dropped it, and we're just like, "Whoa, that looks really cool."
Yeah, out this week. Roar!
Oh,
We've got the Lion King.
okay.
That was
So Lion King.
Yes.
Speaking
of remakes.
early reviews are out for the Lion King already, and
Yikes.
usually when they drop early reviews, especially Disney, they're like confident as hell in them.
yeah. It's like
And I think-
Disney walking down the red carpet.
Just swinging their big old.
Lion tails
Lion
around and
tails.
shaking their
Yeah.
minions, you know?
Look at me.
Mixed.
Oh,
No,
I mean, it's
59%.
59 is mixed, though, right?
it's sitting at an average about 6.
Yeah,
6
that's
out of
mixed.
10.
That's mixed because if it was negative, that's in the middle of 1 and 10.
I get it, but
Again,
it's,
it's
you know,
mixed.
but like,
It's
come
just,
on.
it's just.
But when you see that, obviously,
It's Disney.
it's low
Yeah.
for it, but it's still considered mixed, right? Like
Right.
mixed to negative, right? It's right in the middle.
yeah, it's just wow. Didn't
Yeah.
expect that.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's
Because like all the social media reactions were amazing for this.
yeah.
Their social media reactions were really good for it, and then the review started coming out.
what does
in
that
the
mean?
morning.
Social media reaction.
So
Like-
before
like-
you could put your review out,
Right.
Before you
The
could give
embargo
it,
lifts.
before you could put an actual stamp grade on this, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to tweet about it and be like, "Hey, Lion King is great. So much action, really cool. Stay tuned for the full review." So it's basically like the tease.
yeah, yeah,
And then the full reviews came out, and I think the biggest thing that people are having a problem with is that it's almost too realistic.
It's the lack of personality in the characters.
Yeah. Not
Now-
enough personality.
A lot of like the reviews that I was reading about in terms of the social media reactions, it almost just felt like there was something up because like some of them were like they're like, yeah, it's really great, but do we need, and like it was almost like it was almost a but at the end of
Yeah.
And I never used to see that a lot like with like
butts.
social media
Yeah.
reactions for Disney films, but I kept seeing these butts every once in a while. And I'm like, huh, okay, that's interesting. And then when that day that the rating dropped, I was like, wow, we're at 123 reviews right now,
Yeah.
and it's set about a 59%.
59% Rotten
a
Tomatoes.
lot of the titles all begin or end with unnecessary.
Yes.
Unnecessary.
And-
not needed.
Yeah,
And this is literally
that's the theme of this generation of filmmaking.
right. So this is a remake of probably the most beloved 2D
Yeah.
animated film in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
We have Jon Favreau, who is great. You have an amazing cast behind this. Why isn't it landing with people? Because I think it's just not original enough. It doesn't
It's
have
a
that.
shot for shot.
It doesn't have the personality that the animated film did. You look at Spider-Verse as a movie. People say it's the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. Why? Because it literally is one of the most unique things you'll ever see in terms of animation, characters, because that all blends, that works because it's animated. Jon Favreau, again, who we love,
Yeah.
went for a super hyper-realistic version of The Lion King. And with that, we're not getting something that looks unique. It looks like I'm watching Our Planet.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a lot of Our Planet this week because I just got an OLED TV. But it just doesn't look like unique enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seeing the lions talk, and again, we haven't watched it yet, but seeing these lions talk and just seeing their mouths move like that, it looks a little jarring because like it doesn't look natural for
Yeah.
a realistic lion to be doing that, right?
I haven't seen a lion sing yet, but personally,
You haven't seen a lion sing?
No,
Okay.
I was watching Childish Gambino on Donald Glover
On Kimmel?
On Kimmel.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to see a clip from the movie, and then they played it, and it was just so. I'm like, I didn't even.
Like something
they were
felt-
singing
something felt it.
You didn't feel it,
Hakuna
right?
Matata,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't connect with the movie. I'm
Yeah.
like, they just looked. Their face looked so plain. They had no like. words were coming out,
yeah.
but their face wasn't showcasing some music. That,
and this is the thing. At the end of the day, it's not a live action remake. It's still animated.
Yeah.
Right. So I think they could have leaned a little bit more. Again, when we see it, we'll have our own.
I'm still trying to go in as
For sure.
open-minded as I possibly can. Because I mean, I love The Lion King, I love Disney, I love Jon Favreau. So,
also, this is going to be 3 of 4 live action remakes for Disney this year.
Yeah.
Right. We had Dumbo. We had Aladdin, we have Lion King, then we have Maleficent in October.
Do you think when all this is said and done, there are live action films?
They're going to maybe take a look and evaluate what they want to do.
Do you think they'll stand in terms of they'll have like some sort of like cultiship to it? Like, you know, like when it comes to watching The Jungle Book or Aladdin or Mulan, you know, you always go back to those movies. Do you think any of their live action films would have that go back feature? Like,
that you would watch the live action remake over watching the animated?
Not even like just you think they'll be praised for any of their live action?
They'll be appreciated like the originals were?
Yeah, because even though Lion King came out, 94?
94, yeah.
Not until like, I don't know, 95, 96, it started to like become
that phenomenon, you know? I don't know. Again, like we're saying this as adults, quote unquote adults. There are going to be kids who this is going to be their Lion King. Though this, Mena Massoud is going to be their Aladdin. You know what I mean? So like we won't know. Like for us, it's just going to be a live action remake of the ones that we grew up with. But for them, that's going to be what they want to see. You know what I mean? And it's hard to say. And again, I'm going to show my kids the original Lion King because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. You know what I mean?
Rather than the live action.
Oh yeah,
I think
I'll
to
show
me
them both
this
and
is
be like,
Disney.
you choose.
Of all the things Disney's done,
depends
this
on
is their misstep.
Well, it is because if you look at the trend right now, so I guess the first one really was Cinderella.
Cinderella was the not including like the Alice in Wonderlands and stuff like that.
No.
Because Cinderella is when they kind of started.
That's when they
started
the
going
ball
into
started
the
to
ball
roll.
started to really start going.
Yeah,
right?
they're like, okay, we're creating this remake center right now because so Cinderella is the one that has the highest rating so far. It's sitting at 85%.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, that's so far
I
the
really
only
like
one that I
Cinderella,
enjoyed. Like I really liked
Jungle Book.
Well, sorry, Jungle Book as well. So Jungle Book also has a pretty high rating too.
And I think those movies have the benefit of time as well.
Yes.
Right? Because
they're from the 50s.
they're from the 50s and 60s.
No one remembered them.
Right.
As much as...
And I'm sure the people that actually grew up with those films probably didn't even like the remakes, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe,
we don't know, right? Beauty and the Beast, which I didn't enjoy that much, that sits at about 70% or 71%. And the rest of them are in the 40s and 50s. Like Dumbo is at 48.
Dumbo, I did not enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, this thing, there are some cool moments of it, but I don't think Dumbo as like... When you see Dumbo and then you see...
Dumbo.
Like Lion King, like with Simba, Simba looks like a real lion cub, and Dumbo, I guess, is the problem if they maybe went to authentic to the animated one because he looks like the cartoon live action, but the CG doesn't look as nice, right? So he just looks super like out of place with all the live action.
It's funny because I think we discussed this not too long ago that Disney as a studio, they're pummeling out all these high intensive CG films.
Yeah.
Do you think that they use their A squad for like the higher films, like for CG producing, and then like use like the B squad and C squad to like make Dumbo and Aladdin? Because Aladdin CG also wasn't that great either.
Oh, in terms of like their production houses they use? Yeah,
because like there's so many they're pumping out this year. Like they probably use more resources towards Avengers.
Because you look at Avengers, like they're using ILM and Weta.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like the other companies probably worked on them as well too.
Yeah.
But maybe they outsource to other production houses, right? So that's definitely a factor. Yeah. We look at next year for Disney's slate. We have Mulan coming out. We have a Little Mermaid that's going into production. We have a live action Lady and the Tramp that's going to Disney streaming.
Which I think is already done.
I think it's either done or being worked
Which
on
I
right
honestly
now.
think is not going to be...
Is it like Babe, where it's like a real animal, but
I think
then
it's going
they
to be like Pet Chihuahua Detective. Like, it's going to look like these dogs just like...
Just dogs and they just animate the mouths?
Yeah, like
maybe.
Who cares?
We'll see. I mean, we're in a weird time with these movies, and obviously, like I love Disney as a studio.
Of course, we all love Disney. Yeah.
But having these come out, especially with movies that we're so like tied to, I'm really curious to see how we're going to react to when we see it this week.
I'm still excited for.
I'm still super excited for it.
Even with Aladdin, I didn't hate it. I
No.
was just kind of like, oh, okay, it was its own thing.
Yeah. Like I'll watch Aladdin when it comes to home release on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And then maybe maybe down the road again. I don't know.
One thing that I would say, if Disney are listening,
Hi Disney.
revamp your 2D animation studio.
Like bring it back.
Bring it back because 3D
Revitalize
animation
them.
is hitting a plateau where it's like you don't even care anymore. I'm sorry, like you don't, like you can see like explosions and all that. People are now wanting a like hand-drawn animation style that they've never experienced.
I agree.
And I think that's when you look
And
at
a lot of kids
Spider-Verse, that's
don't
why it did
even
so
know
well
that.
too, right?
What's hand-drawn animation?
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
Bring that nostalgic back. You'll make money. I'm telling you, Disney. Instead of making
You heard it
live.
here. Heard it here first.
Listen to Anthony.
And Favreau, stick to your panini press.
All right.
Oh,
What have you
boy.
guys been watching this week?
About 2 minutes of everything, as I alluded to at the beginning of the show. Just been testing every single movie I own that's available in Dolby Atmos
Nice.
or 4K. But also, like, I've been obviously going through Smallville again, which is making me really want a proper Superman movie. Warner Brothers, please. And The Crown. So I'm about 2.5 years late to watching The Crown.
Nice.
I'm probably halfway through season 1. Really enjoying it. Really enjoying it.
What do you think of the cinematography?
It's beautiful.
It's probably one of the best
It's
cinematography. Like
the production value of it. Again, this is a Netflix show. The production value behind it and the acting and obviously the score, because Hans Zimmer wrote the opening song, and then Rupert Gregson Wilson, who's also Hans Zimmer's like boy, like does the score. So it's so epic sounding.
Yeah.
But it looks beautiful. Like, and the cinematography is just stunning.
There's a scene at the end of season 1 that is just it stayed with me because it's such a beautiful shot. I agree. The cinematography is phenomenal.
is it the car?
No, it's on the boats.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm excited to
When the queen died. I'm just kidding.
wait a second. I'm excited, and at least now, because I'm getting into it now, season 3. Now that it's done shooting, we'll get it sometime this year, and I won't have a long of a wait. But
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
It was a good show.
Yeah. How about you guys? What have you guys been watching?
I've been watching Big Little Lies.
I said Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman,
Meryl Streep, Laura Dern.
That she's in the second season.
Second season, yeah.
So
you
I'm
just
still
started
in the first
okay,
season.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Laura Dern, Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, yeah.
And who's the other one? She's
We said Nicole Kidman, right?
yeah, she's the younger one. She's the youngest of Zoe Kravitz is the youngest. Forgot her name, but man, what a story!
Really?
Yeah, I think it's based on a book.
I've only seen the first episode.
Such a. I didn't think I would enjoy it, and then I got into it, and man,
I just see people freaking out on Twitter every week about it, especially now that
Shailene
Meryl's
Woodley?
in. Shailene Woodley, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
She's
But
on
yeah,
our
like
What's the Plot?
the intricacy of these women and how they all connect, and what happens in this town of Monterey, which is in California, and how they all deal with shit.
Yeah.
But-
Alexander Skarsgård is in it as well too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What I did realize watching this show is film has a huge problem.
What's that?
That
as in movies?
Movies, like
Yeah.
going to the theater, because I would have watched this show 10 times more than anything I've seen in the movies this year.
Really, eh?
Yeah. And like you could say it with The Crown, you could say it with what was it? Euphoria, Stranger Things. TV is
it's
like,
coming for blood, man.
If I were to say what's the best picture this year, it's going to be a TV show. And that's the
Really?
crazy thing.
This
and
is-
it's just phenomenal. Like, everything is so good.
And I love that because you know why? It's accessible now.
Yeah.
HBO, like growing up with HBO One, like it was always like the network that like ratings were always like rated R. So like it wasn't the channel I went to, obviously growing up, but the way they're pumping out stuff, the way Netflix is making stuff, now that like Disney and NBC and Warner Brothers, they're going to have their platforms in Apple. Like I just hope that we're in a place right now where TV could just keep creating these amazing
it's like, why go to the
right?
theater?
Yeah.
When you can watch, on HBO 3 series that blow you away.
Yeah, like when I look at Netflix right now, and like I always joke that like Netflix is kind of like my Office subscription every month, right?
Yeah.
But like I got into Breaking Bad through Netflix, and that show is probably my favorite show of all time in terms of just storytelling, beginning to end. Like that experience from season 1 to season 5, is up there with some of the best movies I've ever seen, and surpasses a lot of it. Right, so you're totally right when you're saying like
even the cast members, like these like
and
A-list cast members
are
in these,
going to TV, right?
Yeah, they're going to TV. Yeah. TV is rebranding itself to being probably the next medium that people will enjoy for a very
and then
long
actors
time.
will go to, right? Because like TV before had that stigma, right?
Yes.
Like, he's a TV soap or sitcom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's like
It's
I
different.
think since Sopranos, which spoiler alert, premiered in 1999. Since then, I think people like that was like one of the first big shows that like started really changing the game, right? And then now we have even bigger shows. Reese Witherspoon, I feel like, is on. She has a deal with Apple. She has a deal with Warner. She has a deal with HBO. Like she's kind of everywhere now.
So this first season of Big Little Lies is directed by a Canadian director. His name is
it David E. Kelly?
Well, it's written by David E. Kelly, but the director for this season.
Yeah, I can tell you in just about
it's on the tip of my tongue.
minute. Let's look at
Anthony says he's been watching.
Jean-Marc Vallée.
Jean-Marc Vallée.
Oh, is it Jean-Marc Vallée? Really?
Yeah, he directed
Oh my
the first
God.
season. Daniel's like,
Is it? That's crazy. I didn't realize it was him.
and he's the guy who directed Dallas Buyers Club and
Wild.
Wild, yeah. With,
I mean,
again, with
Reese-
Reese,
that
makes
movie that I
sense.
talked about a long time ago. Crazy.
And Reese Witherspoon does a really good job. Like she's great in it. Nicole Kidman's great. Everyone's great in this.
Everyone's just coming.
show, and
Everyone's
it's-
just like literally. They're all competing for that. I think in the Emmys this year, they were all in the same category.
Yeah, he directed Crazy. That's the film that I talked about. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize it's him who is directing the show. That's good stuff, man. How about you, Shay? What have you been watching?
I really took. I see the 90s is a big time period for me. I love the 90s growing up.
Makes sense.
I was a little kid, obviously. So I went back and I watched. I don't know why I'm doing an accent. I went back and I watched a lot of films from '99 or around the '90s. So I watched American Pie.
Yep.
Which is one of my favorite films. I watched that once a year. I have.
Did you eat pie?
No, because the film doesn't make you want to eat pie. If
Yeah.
you've seen it. Have you seen
Also, I
American
don't
Pie?
like pie.
Yeah, I
Didn't you
have.
call me like a pie eater or something?
Yeah,
like that?
I ate
but-
pizza today, which is like a pie.
That's a pizza pie. That's
Yeah.
Italian. It's for the,
Hey, yeah.
the
You're
paisan
welcome.
himself over there.
I'm helping out your economy here. I watched Analyze This.
Yeah. Is that 99 as well?
99 as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great film.
You sent me a really funny clip.
I did send you that.
That was funny.
Yeah, I did. The Lion King, because I was anticipating, watching
Yeah, the
Lion
movie.
King next
Yep.
week.
Oh, I watched Lion King as well. I forgot. Go on.
Yeah, I had one movie, but you guys fucking.
What did you say?
I didn't
Oh,
get
we're
to mention.
gonna circle back.
We'll circle back.
We'll circle
okay?
back.
Did he hijack it again?
I didn't
Yeah.
hijack
He's like-
anything.
He always
Yeah,
hijacks the what we're watching
what's-
part.
I did not.
Yeah, because we talk about Big Little Lies, and he's like, oh, let me talk about.
I don't even have it open. There was a pause, so I asked what you were watching.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
see,
I was.
hijacked.
You hijacked it.
I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead, Shay.
No, you tell me because I'm sorry that Daniel decided.
No.
to
Wow.
No, no.
Listen,
Interrupt.
man, you're the host this
I'll
week.
go
so
after
do your
you.
job.
Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead. No,
I
you're already
wanna-
on there.
I
Well,
wanna
we
know.
already done
I
your-
want to know what you're watching.
Rocketman.
Cool, man.
And what do you think of Rocketman?
I thought it was great. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was really probably best musical, we'll say biopic of a musician I've ever watched. It was so good.
Yeah, and Taron Egerton did a great job.
Yeah, I think it's a blueprint for all, musical biopics.
Yeah,
It's so good. I thought it would be more like the trailer made it so magical. I thought it was going to be more magical than.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was going to be more magic than real.
like a lot
or-
more across the universe. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
But man, it was so good. The only thing I didn't like is how it ended.
What didn't you like about the ending?
It ended abruptly. I thought they could tell more of Elton John. I still wanted, I don't like movies where they end and then they show montage of pictures.
Yeah.
It just kind of I don't know.
I guess he's still alive, right? That it's kind of
Yeah, but I wanted to see more of Lion King and when he did Princess
Oh,
Diana.
no, for sure.
the Elton
yeah.
John
you wanted
thing.
to see him because
More than
But I
ends
guess
with him in
he
the
wasn't
80s, right?
struggling at that point in his life, so
Right.
why tell it? There's no
that's
drama
kind of
in
thing,
that.
right? Like they're not gonna because at that point he cleaned up and
Yeah.
it was
Right.
all good.
But yeah, I thought it was well done. The CG was a little
It's the
it bothered me a bit.
it's the Matthew Vaughn kind of
Oh,
stylized
yes.
look
Yeah,
to it, right?
And it kind of reminded me of Bohemian Rhapsody. I feel like some of those scenes were almost kind of like for shots.
Yeah.
Like the crowds and the stadiums and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought if it's not nominated for Best Picture or if
Taron
Taron
Egerton.
Egerton.
Taron Egerton is not nominated for Best Actor, there's something wrong with Hollywood.
Anthony's like has a gun.
Yeah, stick to your
Man,
man,
like-
My God.
Do you want me to remind you about it?
No,
I think
man.
we need
Just
to
about
make
nothing.
shirts that say "Stick to your panini press"
Stick to your panini press.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that on a
on the
t-shirt.
back.
Yeah.
John Favreau. Yeah, I also watched Austin Powers, the first one. The first one was not in '99. The second one was, but I felt kind of weird watching the second film in a series. This week, I also went to go see Midsommar, which we have a review up on Instagram and on YouTube. Spoiler alert, loved it.
Midsommar. Is it like an
Midsommar.
IKEA?
Midsommar, it is a couch from IKEA. Yes.
I was actually at IKEA today.
I
I was
sat
thinking
on
about it.
Yeah,
So we had a write-in question actually.
about Midsommar.
Some from Hugo in Montreal.
Oh,
So he says, just saw Midsommar.
Midsommar.
Here's what we've learned. Number 1, never going to Sweden. Number 2, don't make friends with the international students.
Yep.
And number 3, don't take drugs from strangers. And last but not least, don't drink the punch. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming that all makes sense to you.
Oh yeah, like the film. I keep thinking about it, and it stays with me so much that it's definitely gonna be my top 10. Wouldn't be surprised if it makes my top 5.
Really, you think it's solidified itself
It
there,
was
right?
just so good. I had such a good time with it, and it's just sticking. It's just stuck. It's just stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It made me so uncomfortable that I loved the experience this time. Whereas some movies make me uncomfortable, I kind of want to get out of them.
Right.
This movie was kind of like, I want to know what happens next because everyone's performance is just so good.
I saw the director
Ari Aster.
Ari Aster. He was doing an AMA on Reddit this week, and literally like the top comment on it was someone who was just like, "You okay?" And he just responded, "No."
Yeah, all his films deal with death so close to family as well that I'm wondering like if in his life that's what's happened to him because
Maybe.
that's what really every film starts with. Also, I've been on a lighter note. I've started AP Bio season 2.
Nice. How's that treating you so far?
What's
Really funny.
What's AP bio?
AP Bio is a show starring Glenn Howerton and Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like a teacher. He was like a Harvard.
he's an ex Harvard professor.
Yeah, and he
who's now
becomes a
teacher at high
teacher,
school.
yeah.
Cool.
And it's just like a really funny comedy. Let's jump in to our time machine and head on over to 1999.
999.
That was a time machine.
That was a-
You were a
I was the Echo,
yeah.
and he was the Time Machine.
There we go.
Yeah, Echo and the Time
So
Machine.
let's hop in, guys. Let's punch in our dials
Yeah.
and let's put on our sunglasses and our brightly colored shirts
And
that
buy-
Anthony's wearing right now.
and buy our Y2K merchandise.
Protection.
Yeah,
I
Y2K
had
protection.
a hat that I bought in Delaware. Okay?
Okay.
And on the front it said, like I think 2000, or it says the end of 1999.
Yeah.
And in the back it said is coming. I wish I had the hat still somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would love to wear it and just think, rock it around like old nostalgia.
1999.
Great year.
What a weird and pivotal time for society in all aspects.
Bill Clinton was the president.
You know, we had movies that were just changing the game. We had music that was changing the game.
Yep.
It was the last year of the 1900s. Like,
Yep.
Yeah. What's some of your favorite memories from 1999, Anthony? 'Cause you were 33, I think. Right.
Anthony hasn't aged
In the
since
90s.
I was 14.
In 99?
Yes.
Nice.
I don't remember it much.
Okay.
It's all the drugs.
Wait a
That's
second.
what, isn't that how it goes? Like I can't remember it because of the drugs.
That is how it goes to people that do drugs, yeah.
Yeah, I was 14.
Yeah.
All I remember, Y2K happening and
Y2D2.
that biggest worry, like things are gonna happen.
That the world was gonna end.
The world was
Yeah.
gonna end.
Where were you guys? Were you guys at home?
I was.
Yeah, I was at home.
Yeah, I was at home in our house. We were
Nothing
having,
happened.
We were having our New Year celebration with the fam.
Yeah.
and I remember like my older, like my aunts and uncles who were younger, obviously at the time, like they went out to like a party and they came home and they decided to scare everybody in our family by like banging on the windows.
Yeah.
and like we all thought the world was ending. And obviously I
course.
was a kid. I was probably watching like Rugrats or like Barney or something at the time, and that's what I remember from that night. Just being so scared.
How old were you?
I was 6.
Holy macaroni!
Yeah, I was 6 in '99.
8 years old.
I was 14.
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah, I was 14. Wait, no, I was 13.
You were 13. Okay.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you need to.
So I threw this question out on Instagram.
Okay.
And the amount of responses that I got that either say, this is the big differentiator here, either Y2K or I was born. Those are the most popular
God.
responses.
You know a lot of people that are born 99?
Well, we all do. It's all people that we all know mutually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
It's just
I don't know anyone from 1999.
not that you know of.
I don't think I know anyone.
Yeah,
either,
well, if You name me
I don't
them. I'm
wanna know
not friends
people
with
You
them.
know, I won't name drop them, but there's a good handful. But obviously the movies. Let's talk about the movies.
Yes.
Let's talk about
99.
it.
So 99 was a great year for film.
Great year for film.
Like,
I have a
like,
list.
Memorable
year-
films that are timeless happened in 1999.
the year that changed movies.
It really was a cultural significance for films.
Yeah.
I mean, we had The Matrix.
What else can you say about the
That
Matrix?
changed special effects. That changed filmmaking. That made such an important deal.
We also had Star Wars Episode 1.
Phantom Menace.
That movie I have such like nostalgia for.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that the word nostalgia could kind of be a little tainted sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But I just remember going to so many stores and seeing the giant
Oh my
cardboard
gosh.
cute
Yeah.
and the Pepsi cans with all the different
Yeah.
characters
Oh my
on it.
god, Pizza Hut. I think
Pizza,
it was
like,
everywhere.
it
yeah.
was- everywhere.
It was like
was a phenomenon.
Wonderland. It was
Star
this
Wars
is
mania. Yeah.
Star Wars. This
It's
is
back.
the first movie since the last one.
Yeah,
George
since-
Lucas. It's you
Since '83,
as a
right?
kid. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Of all like and this like that's when you really say like the word phenomenon. Like
Yeah.
that
That
is
is a-
that.
yeah.
That was what that was, right?
Commercials, like people lining up
Everywhere. Everywhere. You
like
couldn't
5
escape it.
months
Dressed
just to-
up.
Yeah,
5 months.
5 months to go watch it.
and then be disappointed right after they
Be
come out of the
disappointed.
damn
But I mean, like
theater.
people didn't. Do you guys remember when The Force Awakens came out?
Yes.
In 2015.
Yeah.
And I remember there was that YouTube video going around of people from a news segment of people being filmed right after they watched Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And being like just mind blown at what they saw, and then like fast forward years later, and people like seeing it as like one of the worst movies ever. Right? It's crazy like how like because there was so much hype around it, people didn't see the flaws of it at first, right?
Yeah.
But us obviously, who like, did you watch it in theaters? Anthony?
Yes, I did. I think my uncle won tickets to a Young and Eglinton Cineplex,
Young
or
and
famous
Cineplex, yeah. Famous players probably at the time. Yeah.
He won tickets, and we were able to go watch it like the first week.
Do you remember your thoughts of it when you first saw
No,
it?
like I'm a kid. Like this was great. Whatever I was seeing was dope.
Yeah.
You know,
You were just like blown away with.
I wasn't like critiquing it. I wasn't. Well, that's stupid. Or it was just. It felt to me like a Star Wars film. Like it was just to Star Wars. And growing
Your
up
uncle's the
now,
one
I
that loved Star Wars a lot, right?
oh yeah, he loved Star Wars. Like Star Wars fanatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, it was a dope movie. But growing up, once you watch it and you actually realize what's happening, or
Right.
the plot, holes and all that.
The
It was.
midichlorians.
It was like a
Trade Federation.
It was such a great.
Watto.
It was summer.
Annie.
When did it come out? Summer?
Sorry.
September.
September?
Was it September it came out?
I think or February or September.
I thought it was May, wasn't
May.
it?
February.
I think it was a May release.
I think it came out in Smarch, I believe.
I think.
March.
Yeah.
I think it
I think it
came
was
out
May. It came out.
in May because I remember wearing shorts.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, May 19th,
Yeah.
1999.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was shorts in February.
it was just a magical time to
was
be alive.
It was a very, very crazy time. I
No,
remember
it
I
was.
saw it downtown as well as a kid. I went with my mom and a friend of ours and his son. And they were like, "Oh, we're gonna treat you guys out. Like this just came out today, and we're gonna be so excited." I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait!" And I remember the lineup for the theater was outside. This is obviously back before there's such a thing as reserved seating,
Right.
So we had to get there so early. I just remember being so bored out of my mind and so upset that we had to be there that early for a film.
Do you remember the first movie you bought reserved seats for?
No.
no,
Do you? No.
no,
Uh,
you do because
Dark Knight Rises, and I only say that because we're talking about 1999, and Rises came out in 2012.
Okay.
So we still had such a long period of time
Yeah.
to go before we got to
Which
where
is
we are now.
like, not to like sound weird, but like there's a theater in Richmond Hill, I think, or I can't remember where it is now. But it was where my family used to go watch Bollywood films.
Mm-hmm.
And those are all reserved seatings. So to be honest with you, since I was a kid, all the Bollywood films I saw were
Interesting.
in reserved seats.
That's cool.
And then when I was like, "Oh, I gotta go watch a Hollywood film," I'm like, "I gotta wait in line." Like,
Yeah,
it
this
just
is weird.
It was weird. It was like
Yeah.
I was like, "How is this ahead of this?"
Yeah.
Like, it blew my mind.
Speaking of theaters, though, in 1999, that was the first year I saw a movie. That was the first time I ever saw a movie twice in theaters.
Oh wow!
So I saw Tarzan twice. I remember watching it the first time and being like, that was so good. And then my family went back again because like we went to the movies, but like the movies are like expensive, right? Especially
Yes.
like a family of four to go to the movies, like that adds up, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that we went like the next weekend to go watch it again, and Tarzan, like Phil Collins, like that soundtrack is amazing. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
one of the last like great Disney
Disney,
soundtracks,
yeah.
right? And the end of that era of like their animated film, right? One of the last films that came out for them.
This was also the year where we got really the first, or I guess the best viral and marketing campaigns for a film. We got the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, right. Yeah.
1999, the Blair Witch Project really like set this tone, because it was also in the age of the internet where you couldn't really look up. If this was real or
and the
not.
internet wasn't something everybody had. Like it was the
really elite,
or like the very like nerdy and technologically like inclined had internet access.
Yeah.
So this was a time where forums roamed the internet.
And I remember this movie was like it connected with me because I thought it was real.
Right.
Like I thought it was so
I
real.
still think
I'm
it's
like,
real.
Hey, wait,
like, is
it's
this real?
it's not
This is
real?
not real. Is this real? It's not real. It was so well, like it was shot so well in that sense that it was like this,
And marketed so well too.
yeah, marketed so well. But it was just crazy that was found everywhere on the news. Blair Witch, Blair Witch, Blair Witch, Blair Witch. Is it real? Is it not? People are fainting. People are like scared out of their minds.
It's so funny to see where we are right now, because like Blair Witch obviously isn't as big as a name as it was, but like it inspired the Paranormal Activity series. It just got announced that a game is coming out of Blair Witch, which it was at E3 at the Xbox stage. They announced a Blair Witch game, and like I feel like even stuff like Blair Witch kind of set the stage for what came later with like YouTube and stuff like that, because like you see so many things inspired by Blair Witch like created now, and like it's cool to see like this is kind of where it started to really start happening, right? Where we'd see people start like believe, is this true? Is this a hoax? Is this not? Like those were like where things started to like
That
come together
faux
for it, right?
documentary kind of horror marketing
It's
and
really
all that
cool.
jazz. Yeah.
It's really cool.
We also got, this is a big breakthrough film for this director. We got The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan. And I remember I never watched The Sixth Sense as a kid because I was too scared. Because everyone kept saying, it is too scary. You will not be able to sleep at night. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like,
it was scary. Like as a child, if you were watching it, it is scary.
I would assume it is. When I grew up watching it, it didn't scare me as much, except for that Misha Barton scene.
Yes, yeah.
But other than that, like, I was pretty fine.
Just because it's like unnerving, right? Like, especially as a kid, like the weirdest things scare you as a kid. Like I think we spoke last week about how like The Lion King, like the doom when the title come in, they used to scare the hell out of me growing up. I had to mute it,
like even
because it scared me.
Yeah, rewatching it, it scares me in the sense that it like when you see Bruce Willis and he's talking and he's thinking he's having these conversations. And he realized he's dead and he doesn't even know. That scares there's a little bit of fear because it's like
scares you,
this guy doesn't even know he's dead and he's talking to these people that think they're communicating. It has this eeriness to it.
Yeah.
And that freaks me out a bit.
That's scary. Yeah, 100%. Did you guys ever see the movie End of Days?
No.
So this is with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching this movie in a hotel room. Like we rented it on in a hotel, and not a movie for kids. I don't know why my parents rented it.
And they're like, oh, Schwarzenegger.
And probably pay like $100 to rent it that night. But yeah, it used to scare me so much because it was basically like Arnold Schwarzenegger was like fighting like this like Satan basically, right?
Did that come out in?
That was in 1999.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, I was gonna yell at you.
And you're like, Dana, what are you doing? No.
Yeah.
It was. That's why I brought it up, because like
I love that movie.
it's a great movie, but it used to scare the hell out of me, especially in the ending. I'm like, damn, like
remember the quote in that movie? So there's a scene in the movie where it's like, when he's talking to a priest, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, I keep seeing the number 666, and the priest says to him, well, when you dream, a lot of things are backwards. It's actually 999, 1999.
Oh,
that's not the quote I was thinking.
That's not the quote that I ever wanted to hear.
But it's a good movie though. So it's a good watch.
Yeah, Shay doesn't like it.
Yeah, no, it's like, but yeah, as a kid watching that, I'm like, this is scary.
Yeah,
this is spooky.
Sounds pretty silly.
You know what, Shay? If you don't get the 666 into the 999,
turn the 6 upside down. It's a 9 now.
Give me the next shirt. Give me the next shirt right now.
Your next the panini press.
Yeah. This is your next shirt slogan. If you don't get this 666, it's on the front, and then
and the 999
is on the back.
Yeah, but it's
not 1999.
It's not 1999.
Turn the 6 upside down. It's a 9 now.
100%. Yeah. This is also the year we got Kubrick's last film.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
So just days before he died, he submitted his final cut to, I think it was Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
yes.
That's it. He never really got to see his film come out. Crazy.
Yeah.
Very, very shocking.
Yeah,
And it's a very shocking movie.
Yes, it's a very weird film.
Yeah, it's a
He's
weird
not-
film.
And the thing with Kubrick as well too is that he's not a director that I think general audiences like would say he's their favorite filmmaker, but he's like a filmmaker's filmmaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you ask like so many directors who their favorite director is, they'll say Kubrick.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
it's just how and
Film
like,
school he is.
Yeah, how film school and just how like he like wrote the book for a lot
He's
of
the
this stuff,
theory
right?
of film, really.
Theory of film, that
Yeah.
is him, right?
Yeah.
Fight Club came out
Fight
this
Club.
year as well too.
Fincher.
Fincher.
It's still a film that's referenced a lot nowadays. A lot of
100%.
anarchists.
Yeah.
You know, like
Okay, I wasn't gonna say anarchist.
Antichrist.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was just a film that, you know, it's not my favorite Fincher film.
Right.
But it's such a referenced film today.
It's like one of those films that like gets out of film culture and becomes pop culture.
Yeah.
Right? Like first rule of Fight Club.
You always
Don't-
talk about Fight Club.
You always,
Yeah, always talk about it.
That's
Yeah.
you guys have seen this movie a lot, I could tell.
American Pie and South Park were some of the biggest R-rated comedies that came out that year as well.
So what's your because you said you watch American Pie and I've always
Yeah.
I've always known you to love American Pie.
Yeah.
Why do you have such a
Okay,
connection
let me
with
be
it?
honest with you. I don't know if my mom listens to the podcast. I'm not too sure. But so we had like illegal pay-per-view like back in the day, right?
Hold
so the police, if they're listening too, I have no idea that this was happening. But yeah, I mean, like we had illegal pay-per-view. I remember this this big brown box, and it had like every single movie for free.
Yeah. No commercials.
No commercials.
I think we had the same one.
Yeah, and Daniel, you're in.
Wait. Did I just incriminate
You're complicit in
myself?
this? And I remember hearing about American Pie in school, and they were like, "Oh, there's like boobs and stuff in it." And I was like, "No way, man! Boobs! I like boobs." And so it was on TV on pay-per-view right when it came out on home release, and I just remember being like, "This is so cool!" Like I felt like the coolest
you
kid.
felt like you were getting away with something watching it, eh?
And like,
100%.
and again, like my family didn't know what the hell was going on. So anytime like something was happening,
Yeah.
like luckily they weren't there, and I would go to school and be like, and I'd be referencing the film and like cracking lines from it, not knowing what any of this means.
No,
They'd be like,
of course
I'd be like,
not.
"Hey guys, MILF, right?" And they'd
Yeah.
be like, "What? What does that mean?" Like
Yeah.
it just
I love milk. What's up?
yeah. Like, put a MILF on that. Yeah, I don't know. It was a funny time, and it stuck with me and it reminded me so much of my youth that I watched it every year, at least once. And like till today, I still watch the whole series, minus Reunion, once a year.
Oh, wow.
How many American Pies are there now?
6.
Well, 3 of like the
Turn that 6
American-
backwards though. What is it?
Well,
9.
3 from the original trilogy, then they made a 4th one, but then they have all
and they had
these
spin-offs,
like
right?
the
Yeah,
National
American Pie
Lampoon thing,
presents.
Yeah.
like Beta House or Naked
yeah.
Mile or whatever.
Those weren't for you.
No, those are awful.
Yeah.
Awful movies. And when we speak about South Park, the bigger, longer, uncut, whatever it was called, that film I think received the most amount of obscenities in 80 minutes. I think it was like 899 or like something like that. Like it was crazy how much that, and like these films also, they made like $200 to $300 million at the box office.
Which
Now,
for
in
99?
1999, it's unreal.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miriam wrote in and she said that 1999 was the year that she got her DVD player. So you're an early adopter in
That is
1999 to
pretty
getting
early.
DVD player.
I didn't get it until like 2000.
I think 2000, 2001.
1 year later?
When did
Ish.
the Perfect Storm
2
come
years
out?
later?
Because 99 would have been crazy, but 2000 is fine.
Yeah.
When did you get yours?
I don't remember. 1999.
You're probably still on the old
It was on the projector.
DLP projector train over here.
Now
RCA, I remember. It was a
dude,
DVD.
RCA was our old TV as well too. Like
When I got it, was like, what? We
Crazy.
had a DVD player? It's sick.
Dude, when I saw a DVD for the first time, I was like, there's nothing to be anything better than this. You weren't here for our Toy Story celebration episode. Toy Story 2 came out in 1999.
First Pixar sequel.
Take it away, Anthony.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
Take it away, man. What do you
came
love
out.
about Toy Story?
That's
'Cause you
that's his least
Okay,
favorite one, though.
That's my least favorite.
Is it
one.
really?
Yeah.
I don't need you to say anything more then.
I was gonna say, I'm like, why are you giving him Toy Story 2? That's his least favorite
Oh
one.
my god.
Take it away, Anthony.
I went to go watch it in
Stick your
theaters,
nip in your
but
breast.
like, yeah, compared to all the other Toy Stories, I liked. I think that's the weakest.
You're like, I can't wait for 3 in
No, but no
11
one really
years.
remembers Toy Story 2. Whoa.
Yeah, just turning the lights on for
God.
all there. Yeah.
Come on. What happened? What happened at the end of Toy Story 2? Did we talk about
The
this?
prospector, he gets in the backpack with the Barbie, and then
Yeah.
he goes to Japan or wherever that girl's going. Brazil, I think.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah,
they
that's what
all
happens.
go
See, I
home
totally
and then Andy
forgot.
plays with them. Yeah.
Did you hear about they took out the scene with the prospector?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
So
They should have kept it.
I
like
noticed
scene.
that. Like when I watched it on home release, I was just like, ooh, like obviously because we're seeing what's happening in Hollywood and everything right now, so obviously that sticks out. But it's also like by changing it, like, do you guys know, like at the beginning of Looney Tunes, when like they have re-releases, they have a statement that says, hey, like we're presenting these how they were originally shown, because to change them would be to act like they didn't happen.
Right.
And what's worse, pretending like it didn't happen,
Right.
or trying to edit your own history?
Yeah.
So I think there's a debate for both sides here. Now, obviously, Disney's in a place where Toy Story is still being made, and it's Toy Story like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think for kids, like it doesn't really matter as much for them in terms of like they're all relevant. You know what I mean? So Toy Story is still a relevant brand, where Looney Tunes are a little bit different now. But
Doesn't it kind of piss you off that they changed it?
yeah, I mean,
It's like that's not how the movie was made, right?
But even then, like it's one of those things where it's like, again, it's tied because obviously John
Yes.
Lasseter, this is what happened with him, who was the head of Pixar and directed that. I just think that if a kid sees that, maybe and says something to it, maybe that's an opportunity for parents as well too, to be like, hey, you know what, this is not how you act either, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, you guys got really dark there. I had to tune out for a
No,
bit.
it's not that. It's just
1999.
We
99, am I right?
This was a great time for a lot of franchises. I mean, obviously, we had American Pie starting. We had Phantom Menace, which is the Star Wars trilogy starting.
Yep.
We also started to get The Mummy.
I was about to say The Mummy.
Mummy started the
Mummy.
franchise.
One of my favorites, man. Mummy 1
Love
and
it.
2. Especially the first one is my favorite, but
But I also love Mummy Returns as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Minus The Rock as CG Scorpion.
It's,
Take it or
it's
leave it.
definitely a product of its time. Pokemon Fever was happening too. But
100%.
before I do that, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say 1999, one of my favorite movies growing up, Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, great film.
Don't know why I loved it so much.
I don't know
Made
why
me
either.
scared the hell out of sharks, but
Yeah.
great movie. Sam
Yeah,
Jackson.
it did
his
what
scene in
Jaws
that,
did to most people for you, though.
100%, yeah.
Biggest flop of 1999, The Wild Wild West.
Oh,
Wow,
buddy.
West, wow.
I saw that in theaters, actually, and I saw it in a theater nearby my house. It was also Famous Players or Silver City, I think. And I remember just loving it, obviously, as a kid, because I'm like, oh my god, giant mechanical spider. And then, like, as I was growing up, I realized I never watched it that much, and I kept singing the Wild Wild West song.
I've never seen it beginning to end. I saw it in a
really?
drive-in. I fell asleep,
Oh.
and I only know it from the song alone. And I've never actually been like, let me watch
And I watched it a lot.
Wild Wild
I
West
don't know
beginning
why.
to end.
Don't know why I watched it a lot. Like, I watched it on pay-per-view a lot, too. But yeah, back to Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon Fever was happening. Pokemon the movie came out. Every birthday party I went to in that time frame was Pokemon the movie themed, and it was great. I had the soundtrack, I had the VHS, I had the Pokemon cards. It was hot. It was happening.
Did you have the Pokemon card from Burger King, which it was gold?
Yep.
And it was
I
a
did,
big-
yeah.
big
I
one?
had
I had a Charizard.
I got what's the one that Misty carried around?
Staryu?
No. The one
I have
that
a
was like an
swirly
egg.
dude.
Oh, Chansey?
I don't know. I'm blanking on the name. So I got it, and you guys got the big Pokemon, the Pokemon
Yep,
ball, with it,
Chansey.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So-
it was a 12. Like, it's a gold-plated card.
Yeah,
right?
the gold-plated card was super heavy card,
Yeah.
and you got the Pokemon ball. And not to go dark here again, but
Oh,
I remember
God.
there was a commercial that came out afterwards because apparently some kid died via this Pokemon ball, and that commercial used to scare the hell out of me too growing up. And I'll always associate that with that commercial, that there was a recall on it, and that scared the hell out of me growing up too.
So what happened? Like how? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, did he eat the ball?
Togepi. Togepi.
That's it, Togepi. So like there was some incident that happened with this Pokemon ball. You can look it up on Google if you want.
I'm going to.
Pokemon ball, Burger King. Yeah, like there was some incident that happened, and then there was a recall on
I can
the
just
Pokemon
see your
ball.
face, like as a child.
I'm just there with my dude. I'm so happy I have my Pokemon ball. It was nice. It was like metallic and everything.
Yeah.
It was such a cool thing. And then this commercial comes on TV, and it's like just a white screen with the Pokemon ball on it, and it's like Burger King would like to issue a recall. I was just like, oh my god, what is this? Get this away from me! Like
I'm not seeing anything about that.
Yeah.
I typed in Pokemon Ball Burger King kid died.
here we recall.
Yeah, okay. This is Burger King Pokemon container recall. On December 11th, 1999, a 13-month-old girl named in Sonora, California, suffocated on the container and was found dead in her... What podcast is that again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is 1999.
This is 99, folks. Anything was happening
Oh, I feel bad for
but this wasn't the one with the gold cards, though.
Oh.
here. What was it?
This was like when they had little tiny toys inside of them.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I remember with the ball in the card though.
Yeah,
I still have it somewhere.
I had the ball in the card, and I had Charizard.
Do you remember what card you had, Anthony?
I had like the swirly dude with the looks like a
Poliwhirl?
Polywhirl, yeah.
I still have it.
Do you really?
Nice.
Yeah, I still have
Is
it.
it right beside your DLP projector TV?
No.
Okay.
How dare you ask him that?
I'm so sorry.
Take it away, Anthony.
No, I can't. Stick in your pretty breast, Shay. All right, I will.
Man,
What about you?
What?
Togepi, that's it?
I just took a pee, and then I saw that commercial. I'm like, I'm never going to this establishment again.
And then you
It's a
did.
wrong thing, but
Sorry.
even though it's a different.
I know, but
I'm just kidding.
I'm
I
Yeah.
asked this question online, and I said, "Hey,
what a weird way to say
yeah,
it, but
because I'm
on
from
the World Wide Web.
I'm from 1999.
Okay.
That we're in the time machine. We've gone back in time. Have you guys not realized this yet?
No.
Okay. But I asked this question on the interwebs about what was your favorite film from that year, and we had Victor or V. Oliveira responded by saying The Green Mile, Fight Club, Sixth Sense, and Disney's Tarzan, all similar films.
Same one, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Sammy wrote in saying The Matrix. Friend of the show, Julius wrote in saying The Mummy.
Yep.
Great film.
Moki, shout out to Moki as well.
Yeah, shout out to Moki, who also
he
loves
he
The
writes
Mummy.
in about the Mummy every week. I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Moki and the Mummy
Moki
is
and the
like
Mummy.
Moki and the Mummy was a film that I think was
That was a
being made.
direct-to-DVD sequel.
Remember that show Mummies Alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually based on Moki's real life.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Josh, producer for the show, he wrote
music producer, yeah.
Well, music producer for the show, yeah. Looking at a list of releases, and it's Austin Powers. So Spy Who Shagged Me was his favorite film
Yep.
from that time. And Rachel wrote in saying 10 Things I Hate About You. Don't know if she's talking about the movie or she's just writing a list about
No.
me.
Incoming list coming.
Yeah, so I'll be waiting for that.
10 Things I Hate About You. Heath Ledger, Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Julia Stiles?
Julia Stiles is his name most for What a great movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's one of those movies that I remember watching a lot in high school as well too. Mm-hmm. It's just I had a friend who was their favorite movie, and we just used to watch it. And that scene with Heath Ledger singing "I love you, baby," like just going crazy with the marching band and stuff. Just what an iconic movie scene. So good.
Yeah.
She's All That. This is
Yeah,
another.
She's All That. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Kiss me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when she Rachel Lee Cook.
I don't know.
Yeah, Rachel Lee Cook.
Yeah.
She comes. She's like that nerdy. Like I
Yeah.
don't. But then she gets
Walks
all
down the
dolled up and she
steps.
walks down the stairs.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, you ain't cracking eggs today.
Oh.
Is that a line from the film?
No, because she played the remember that PSA where she cracked eggs. She's like, this is your brain on drugs. She
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
wow, you went.
That was a deep cut.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
That
was a deep
That's
cut.
another shirt right there. You ain't cracking eggs today.
Favreau.
Yeah, we
Cook can't cook no eggs.
we obviously earlier I mentioned The Sopranos premiered in 1999 as well too. I mean, you look at Friends as well. Friends in 1999 was
During their
all
fifth season, I think, right?
all the rage, right?
Yeah.
Like they were just like Friends
We're
was
getting like 20 million views a episode.
yeah, they were. That was like the peak TV for Friends, and I think those are like season like 4, 5, and 6 of Friends are probably like even like 3, 4, 5 are like probably my favorites.
Yeah.
Of this series. So kind of all around that time period.
Yeah.
More sad news around that time was the biggest tragedy that occurred, I think, was the Columbine tragedy.
Yeah.
That happened and that was a big shift also for film because there was a lot of blaming movies, blaming video
Right,
games, and
right.
just not the fact of gun rights.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
is crazy.
And that's I think when we look back to that as well too, that obviously we're hearing the argument still to this day about video games are to blame or movies are to blame, but at that like I think there's a lot more people have sense now that realize that's not it. But like when we're looking at 1999, that is like when peak fear of everything was happening, right?
Yeah.
You know, we spoke about Y2K. What did you guys think Y2K was like growing up?
something to do with the date. That's
Yeah.
what I remember.
yeah, I
Date.
just remember the date and then computers.
All the computers were gonna
Computers
stop
didn't
working.
understand 2000,
Yeah,
and then
it's so silly when you think about
It was like the
it.
Mind
What?
Calendar 2012 kind
Yeah.
of thing, you know?
Yeah,
Very
Did you
much.
just code it to understand 2000?
Did people code in 1999?
Did these things disappear?
Yeah, it's just so funny when you think about like the fear. Have we had a Y2K movie? Like, have we had like a good
I'm pretty sure we haven't had a good one, but we probably had like Y2K films, like
Swordfish?
Yeah, Swordfish.
Yeah, yeah.
When year did Swordfish come out? Was it
2001, I think?
Okay, it wasn't 99. Yeah, it was
No.
early 2000s.
Also, the same year that George W. Bush announced that he was going to run for president.
Wow. Yeah, honestly, 1999 is just that was the end of so many things, but the beginning of just
so much. And it really, we got into the 2000s where we started to see now films like, I think The Matrix was that film of that year that changed how films are going to be made later on down the road.
100%, dude. And
like that's the one that really did it.
When you see the effects in that movie, and obviously not all the effects hold up, but like when I was testing it on my new OLED TV, and like just seeing how stunning that movie looks, and this is a 20-year-old film at this point, like it's just, that's a game changer. And I think that this, again, we have to go back to this episode and find out all these topics that we're going to do in the future, but movies that are game changers, that's easily one of them.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember watching it at, I believe it was Colossus.
It's a Square One?
No, Colossus.
Oh, Colossus in Vaughn, yeah, with the giant spaceship.
And I watched it with my mom, and we both looked at each other after watching that movie. It's like, what
do we do now?
That was, yeah, it was like a Keanu Reeves, like, whoa. Like, let's rewatch this again. It was so good. You didn't expect it. The trailer didn't show much.
No.
And like that, the opening sequence to the, bullet scene in the buildings and the kung fu and
the lobby shoot, that sequence.
It was just like,
was just unreal.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a that introduced me to film. Like that's where I went like, I want to make these
that's
things.
where the light switch turned on for you, eh?
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely
What a
crazy.
great year. Let's hop back into our time machines. Let's go back to 2019.
We lost Shay.
We spent a great time in 1999, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. I love talking about the 90s. I hope one day we get to go back and talk about the 90s as a whole.
Yeah,
like
I thought you were going to say go back for real. I'm like, Shade.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. But let's go back to 90 to 99 and talk about this because there's a lot of films
so much
from that time period.
There's so much to dive into.
Did a lot. But yeah. As always, you can catch an episode of the Movie Podcast every Monday on every streaming platform that you can possibly think of. I think so, at least, right?
Yeah, we're everywhere. Also, if you didn't
behind
know,
you,
we're look out. If you didn't know, if you look at the show notes, we have all the time codes there for everything we talk about. Obviously, if you made it to the end of this episode, you've probably listened to it all. But if you want to go back in the future or in previous episodes and see specific topics, you have the time codes there for everything. So go back and listen to something if you don't want to hear us talk about other stuff.
Time codes are on YouTube as well. You can catch the episode on YouTube also.
Yep.
And that was This Time with the Movie Podcast.
And we'll see you next.